Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, I'm continuing my Disney movie marathon. So the film I'm going to be reviewing is the one titled Herbie Rides Again. This is a part of a series of films, so I figured I would review it because, as I mentioned multiple times before, if I reviewed one installment of this series, might as well review the rest of them. I did review quite a few of the other, movies with this car, so I thought, I guess I'll do it. Since I'm doing a Disney marathon anyway, so why not? Might as well review a few Disney movies at least. You may have a live action film that I'll be talking about, and I know not a whole lot of people actually talk about the live action films. They're more referring to the animated stuff. So anyway, as I use that more of an excuse to, talk about the live action stuff they've been making over the years. And first of all, I would definitely say that this is definitely better than some of the live action films coming out nowadays that they have been producing. At least it's not a remake. I can say that. So anyway, let's just talk about the story of this film, shall we? So here we go. So for this film, folks, yeah, there is this notorious real estate manager, and let's just say he is ready to build his newest indoor shopping center. This, big plaza kind of thing in San Francisco. His only obstacle, however, is this firehouse that's been infiltrated by this person. And let's just say there's gonna be, of course, a conflict. There's this widow of its former owner, and of course there was this aunt as well, and there's also this neighbor, and of course there's a huge conflict there because there's some conflict of interest, of course. And let's just say that eventually the car does get into the story because that's what this movie is going to be focusing upon. So let's just say that, yeah, with the human characters, there are some things they have to do, of course, as well. Not just, it's not just about the racing, I guess. I guess they're trying to give this one something of a story, which doesn't have to be a bad thing, of course. So I guess they're trying to give something interesting with the overall story, I guess, with characters, whatever, which is fine. So anyway, like I was saying, folks, the beetle, the car that's somehow alive, helps an old woman to protect her home from this corrupt manager who cannot be trusted. Like typical Disney fashion, as you might expect, folks, there's plenty of adventure to be had here, which does happen, of course. So, I can say that this was a pretty good film. I liked it. Yeah, it's old, I know, it's an old movie, but I'm usually reviewing old movies anyway, so whatever. The film does contain some pretty cool sequences. I did like how this film was put together. You can tell that this film did have some professionals behind this. It's not a, amateur-made film, which of course is a plus. And I can say, like I was saying a few moments ago, is that this is definitely a better film than some of the live-action films that they're producing nowadays. I like Disney and all, folks, but I'm kind of annoyed at the fact they keep remaking everything. And pretty much, aside from Star Wars, basically all their live-action stuff basically consists of just remake. And granted, granted, you could always argue having a bad sequel could be just as damaging as a bad remake, which in some ways can be true. But however, I'm a bit more lenient when it comes to sequels because at least they're trying to have a different story. But, well, some sequels anyway. I know there are some sequels that just basically rehash everything from the first movie anyway, but, those aside. But anyway, folks, and I don't like remakes anyway because you just you're just rehashing the first movie and just want to update it more. But anyway, folks, So a lot of people might just want to argue that, okay, what can be worse, sequels or remakes? Some people out there are just sick of both. So a lot of people out there are sick of having sequels and remakes. But thankfully, this is a pretty solid film. I liked it. There's some pretty cool moments as a whole. And yes, of course, it's on my, on my to-do list. Yep, it's definitely on my to-do list, folks. So yeah, I have some several Disney-related videos I do have planned to do, folks. Of course, and I will do them. So I do have to review at least a few Disney films. This is a Disney movie marathon, isn't it? So anyway, as for the acting, it's pretty good. I like the acting in this one because you can tell that we're really trying to get into character. I'm trying to make this seem like a legit thing, which it is. And this film does have a decent budget to it. Maybe not the most expensive film ever made, but yeah, I put it solid film as a whole. I did like the music. The music suited what they were trying to do, of course. And I'll say check it out. If you're not checking it out yet, I'll say give it a shot. I did like this little adventure they would have because, like I said, it's Disney. Of course, they're gonna have a little adventure here and there. Of course, it basically became the trademark. The film itself is pretty nicely constructed. Of course, I can say that this one definitely has some pretty cool moments. There's some other things I want to bring up, but I don't want to spoil it for those who have not seen it. So I'd say buy on DVD. This film is definitely does have some pretty cool scenery. It's pretty. I thought it was well filmed. That's for sure. It's really well filmed. Yeah, it's for the family, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad movie. I'll give any movie a chance, but yeah, some are better than others. This may not be my favorite Disney film that they made, but I did think it was a pretty good film overall. I did think that they were really trying to put some effort into making a good film, and in a lot of ways, they actually did succeed in doing what they wanted to do. Because I had fun watching it. This film is not offensive at all. Well, people nowadays were trying to find everything offensive, so maybe somebody out there found this film offensive somehow, even though this film is basically harmless. But whatever, I guess. So yeah, this movie is good. I liked it. I really did. So yeah, I never really reviewed, vehicle themed movies. Really, I really don't. Not that often. And that's because I'm not really into the whole car themed kind of movies. It's not really my cup of tea. I rarely, seldomly ever review these kinds of movies, even if it's Disney. I'm not really into this kind of movies, really. Again, this is not a bad movie. It's not. It's far from a bad movie. It's just not, my cup of tea. It really isn't. So I would say, I give it a recommendation anyway because, like I said, it's not a bad movie at all. It really isn't. I've seen far worse than this. I've seen Disney do worse than this. Cinderella 2: Dreams Come True is what comes to mind. Ugh. Now that was a bad sequel. At least this film isn't that. So anyway, I'll say check it out, folks. This film, it gets an overall rating of a 6.5 out of 10. It gets a 6.5 out of 10 from me. As always, thanks for watching, and take care. Until next time, oh yeah.